Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Victoria Keegan, a case counsel at the Nairobi Center for International Arbitration. Today with us, I have the honor of having a sit down with Mr. Lawrence Mururi Ngugi, the Registrar and CEO of the Nairobi Center for International Arbitration, to have discussions on alternative dispute resolution, otherwise known as ADR. In these discussions, we'll be discussing about what ADR is all about. If there are any benefits of ADR, then what are they? And for NCA, what role does it have to play when it comes to ADR? And for someone who wants to get to know more about ADR or wants to use ADR, then what are the skill sets that they're supposed to have? For that reason, I think I just want to welcome Mr. Mururi, and thank you so much for joining us in this discussion. We'll go ahead and have these questions answered, and hopefully you'll be able to learn more about alternative dispute resolution. On to my first question. For someone who does not know about ADR, or someone who has a little knowledge about ADR, then would like you to explain to us what ADR is all about.
Okay, Victoria, maybe the best place to start is to explain what is A, D, and R. What is in the A, what is in the D, and what is in the R. A stands for alternative, D stands for dispute, and R stands for resolution. One of the things that is common to anyone who is called a human being is the fact that conflict or disputes, disagreements between individuals, between institutions, entities, is almost like a given. We become familiar with a concept of having differences right from birth. And so from the very simple, basic relationships of human beings, whether it be an individual or an organization, we have come to accept that disputes are part of us. The question is, how do people deal with disputes when they arise? And that's where ADR comes about. So ADR, therefore, would stand for Alternative Dispute Resolution. Now, when you hear the word alternative, you want to ask yourself, it appears there's something else, that we are now speaking of an alternative to it. That could be maybe a mainstream thing, so we are moving away from the mainstream to an alternative. To better appreciate the alternative word, which although maybe at some point we might ask ourselves whether it is actually alternative, we have come to again grow to deal with disputes by referring them to mainly the court. And so whenever there's a difference that arises between individuals or an organization that requires to be determined, and the rights of those people determined, we go to courts. That process we call litigation. That is when, if it is a dispute between yourself and me, we file a case in court, the court will hear us and eventually issue a judgment. Now, alternative comes in where we say, yes, we have a dispute, but we prefer not to go to court. Hence, the alternative. A different place, a different forum where your and my dispute or disputes between any individuals, two or more, can be addressed and resolved. In this alternative, certain features come up. There's of course the question of why would we prefer a different forum. I think we can get to that. But basically the idea is disputes are part of us. They will arise in the course of our interaction and relationship. How do we resolve them? The most common way in which people have resolved disputes is to go to court. Alternative dispute resolution provides a different option where people take their disputes to be resolved in a different way. We can perhaps get to what those ways are later.